Fuck.
Hello, welcome to another typology interview. We have here Manny and Austin. Thank you very
So
much for coming, guys. We're going to talk really quick about remind people what their functions are so that we can get in it. So here's the screen here. Zoom in a little bit. So we have Austin over here as the INTJ, missing sleep. His animals are going to start here, and then they're going to go around here. He's going to start with blast, play, consume, and he's double feminine. So his feminine is going to be here, and his double masculine is going to be in sleep. So it's really cool. It's going to be an NI with a TE, and then we have an NI with a TI here, which is Manny, and Manny's going to have lead sleep, and he's also going to be missing his NF region. Not missing, but like it's just the lingo we use. So he's going to start with sleep, consume, and then play. Okay, so and his double masculine is going to be here, and his double feminine is going to be here. Okay, so we'll stop share and get talking. So how's it going, guys? Thanks for coming.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just I've had quite a hectic week with work and stuff, but
Cool.
same old, same old.
Okay, so we're going to try to sort of decipher Austin's intricate way of explaining things, and Manny's going to help me too.
Yeah, I can be the translator.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So you had something you wanted to say, Otim, that we stopped. So you said, "Wait till the video. I want to say it."
Oh, what were we talking about?
We're talking about play.
Yeah, okay, so we're talking about play, and oh yeah, you were talking about how play is like sleep. It's just outside.
Between
It's
two
doing
people,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same activity. It's just play is outside and sleep's internal, right? So I was talking to Thomas. I want to say his last name, but I'm gonna butcher it. A-Lots.
Yeah, I think that's
And
it.
we were just bouncing back and forth, and he made this point to me. He said basically,
You were bouncing back and forth in play, and then you made a point about
yeah,
meta.
exactly,
All right.
yeah. And he basically said, what was his point? I want to make it really clear. He was trying to make the point that every time we engage with some kind of mental activity, say like in this case it'll be like, let's say you're doing play, the other half of your brain is also unconsciously doing sleep. It's like every time you use a coin, you're using both sides of the coin. It's just one's conscious, one's like taking the front seat, but the
Okay.
other side is still active. It's just unconscious. So he was trying to make the point that it's like weird, but somehow you can, like, if you're missing sleep, you can still kind of engage with it using play. So he was saying, like, if you go for a run or you do some kind of
Oh yeah, when you
activity,
run, yeah. But like run is
or
like
like,
it's what's it called? It's motor memory, and so you're not actually having to engage with it. It's like unconscious motor memory. It's not actual play. But,
that's true, that's
but
true.
one
I
thing we were
guess
talking, yeah, one
yeah,
thing you were saying is that it's the opposite. It's like when you're actually in play mode and super aware and super in the moment, your sleep's
yeah,
gone. You have no sleep. Like
yeah,
and same thing. Like I was at some friend's house, and then like people were all having conversations and stuff, and then I was just in my head for a long time. Then I looked around, and the party was over, and I was like, "Oh, what happened?" Because like I completely missed the outside world. Yeah. So
yeah,
like I think they negate each other actually. So I don't know. Do you have something to say on that,
yeah.
Austin?
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So Austin, what do you how do you experience your NT blast? I want to try to compare that NT blast to the NT sleep and see maybe how TE and TI will differentiate what's going on there. So you're saying your NI, like I guess let's see how it applies the NI, how it changes how the NI is expressed.
With NT Blast?
Yeah, with your TE, how does your TE affect your NI?
Hmm. Um, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I think that largely when I'm trying to figure something out, I'll like kind of just externalize it and start going on a roll, right? Like right now,
Yeah, I was waiting for you to start.
Yeah, you pick up.
Yeah.
yeah, and I just keep on going until things kind of make sense to me. But I know that blast is kind of like blasting out known information and kind of going through that. But I feel like, I mean, I know it's known because I sort of spent a lot of time working on the architecture and the frameworks in my mind to make sure that I can, when I do blast it out, it all kind of makes sense. but I think it's because of the demon double activated feminine sensory that I have. It kind of comes from different angles and different approaches and in different ways in which I reach that end goal, that end destination when I'm trying to speak and share things. So
Right.
I within a certain box, certain context, and I'm like going at it from using different words and moving my words and shaping my words away in a way where it fits within this box. But it's always like kind of new ways or like different ways of going about it.
I
That's like,
understand.
Oh,
You got it, Manny?
yeah.
Go for it. I understood the first part,
Yeah.
that like, but that, like, that, but I think even also your TE might be helping you to organize. Like while you're blasting, it's actually also organizing the information because you have to organize it before it blasts. You have to turn it into words. And the act
Yeah.
of doing that might be also organizing it.
well,
But
yeah, with NI, it's like a structure, right? And it's a
yeah,
framework. With the T, I'm kind of just like moving it along, but I'm working within a certain mold, and
but
it's sort of like boundaries kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah, but that second part, Manny, can you explain that to me? What he was saying about the SE sort of having an angle?
Yeah, so I guess like in a way, the way you explain, say, your single point, depending on the situation, you'll explain it in different ways.
Hmm.
But then I was thinking for the viewer, the person listening, it might get confusing if you're not using the same consistent terms. But like for you, you're just fleshing it out because it's within the same construct. But for them, because they don't see the
The construct.
original construct, they may get confused. But yeah, so is that what you meant by issues with
He's nodding,
the
man. Yeah, that's
feminine
what he meant.
energy? Yeah.
Good job, Manny. All right, so tell us how your TI is expressing your NI. How your TI works on your NI.
TI works on my NI. I think I was actually thinking about this today. It was to do with specifically when I'm trying to do schoolwork, and like I have some kind of strategy or approach. My TI gets very locked in with what's the best way to do something. Like I'm just like
Yeah,
it'll just
energy
be
efficient. Energy efficient, like you're energy dominant.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's almost so my NI is feminine. So how my TI interacts with my NI is my TI is very kind of it gets me into stupid situations because I'll put a lot of pressure on myself to do something the best way, and it's like I'll just tell myself, oh, this is what makes the most sense, so I have to do it this way. It could be I want to do something really efficient, like really efficient, but in reality, it doesn't work. So I have to, like, through trial and error, figure out, okay, even though this is like the best TI way, it just doesn't work at the moment. So, like, I'll
Yeah,
just
that's interesting.
plan over time. So that's how my TI interacts with my NI. It
Yeah.
forces it into a specific thing, and then I have to learn from
Yeah,
the sense.
what you're explaining is like using your TI as a TE, like getting your N to work and it's not working because it's TI.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then Austin's probably in his world saying that never happens to me because my TE always works. It always knows what works.
yeah,
I-
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Exactly. So yeah, that's what it's like for me.
You have something to add on to that, Austin?
Mm.
No.
No, I'm taking it in. Yeah, I'm just, it's interesting.
Yeah, I was also still kind of thinking about the play sleep conundrum because like on one hand they're opposites, so one negates the other. But
Right.
on the other hand, I'll notice, like, let's say I'm just not spending time like play for a while, like I'm just doing sleep, like say days on end, and then the moment I just go out and do play, it's just like I have so much more to work with. It's kind of like I'm just like inspired all of a sudden. So in
Right.
a way, they kind of do help each other because
Yeah,
like
yeah, but they can't be
if I
used at the
do,
same time. But like one
they
is
can't.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, one is like filling up your gas tank, and then the other one is
yeah,
using that gas tank.
using the yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I find the same thing is
that
true with
makes
also consume and blast. Like, have you ever tried listening or watching something while you're talking to someone else? It just doesn't go in.
that's a hard one because I mean I'm missing blast, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's like I don't do that even when I'm not listening. So,
But but yeah,
but
no, but it happens if you're
but
like in the
yeah,
middle of talking. Like right now, I'm interrupting you, and if you were continuing to talk, you wouldn't. It would be
yeah,
hard
yeah,
for you to take that information in. Yeah,
yeah. That's true. Yeah, yeah. I get that. That makes sense. That makes
right.
sense.
So they should work the
Yeah,
same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about your SE, because last time Manny had a bunch of stuff to say about working as demons. I want to hear from Austin. What do you do on a regular basis to get that SE working?
Not much. Well, no, but it's more or less like I try to keep my external world really the same or very similar oftentimes, because I want to be working in my own internal world with NI. Um, so, and this is kind of the hard part is I think that these impressions or these things like SC can't come from the external, right? But I feel like I can kind of manipulate and change things in my mind so that I have new impressions and new things in my own head that I'm working with.
So you're taking an SE from your own mind. You're not even looking in the environment.
Yeah, I try to keep my environment typically pretty consistent, so it's not so distracting. I'm so distracted by the external
Oh,
environment that I'm an NI user. Like I don't
right.
want to have all this extra SE like all over the place. I want to use it all in my head. I want the source information from God, right?
Right.
Like
Wow.
things. Yeah, so I just see it. You know, the definitions and stuff. I just yeah.
That's missing sleep, I think. Because for me, I don't really care about what my surroundings are. I can just completely ignore them. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me clutter. What about you, Manny?
Mm.
It's I'm getting better at it now, but I won't manage my environment as such. I'll kind of just go along with whatever it's like.
Yeah.
And then if I end up quite stressed about something, let's say like work stressing me or something stressing me, I'll need to clear my environment. It has to be
Really?
like not overwhelming. But like on a day to day, I'm pretty chill. Like I don't really care. Like if it fits there, it fits there. It's cool. It doesn't need to be yeah, as long as it doesn't stop me moving forward,
So you'll
then it's
find that
fine.
like clutter around you is distracting? Like it really is distracting for both of you, or?
If I'm stressed, if I'm like not stressed, I don't care. Like as long as it's not stopping me from going from A to B, I don't. It does. Maybe that's yeah. I don't know. Like if let's say I get like a bunch of, I go grocery shopping, and I come back and I'm
Mhm.
putting stuff in, and I'm like, ooh, that's not very well organized. Well, it fits, so like that's cool, and I'll just carry on. It doesn't need to be like put in a way that is organized as long as it's there and I can just go on to the next
What
task.
about
So
messiness? What about clutter?
messiness, clutter, yeah, it's just like it. Yeah, it's just I know when I'm stressed it'll be bothering me, so I just
Really
that's it. But not on a day-to-day basis. But
interesting.
it's the yeah, yeah.
So
I
it's the
think
same thing
it's
for you, Austin. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, no, like for me, with my environment, I mean, as far as if I want to be efficient and actually get work done, then I need to have a relatively clean environment. But if I'm going to be inside my own head and like working through my imagination, running simulations, all those things, like I don't even pay attention to my environment. My
Yeah.
environment, like in my room or just around, it's just like I don't pay attention. It could be cluttery, it could be all these things, doesn't matter. I'm all over the place in my own head. So it's kind of like a
Right.
reflection of my outer environment being all over the place. My head's all over the place.
oh,
I kind of like it that way in a sense.
that's
Right.
It allows me to be more creative sometimes because I'm like
wow.
using my imagination in really random, unorthodox ways.
So then what were you talking about with that? Okay, go ahead first, Manny.
Yeah, that's the opposite for me. Like I always
Okay.
say to people or think my environment is a reflection. Like it's the environment that reflects my head, not my head. I don't know, the way you phrased it was your environment reflects your mind.
Yeah, it influence each other in different
For
ways.
me, it's like my mind is going to my environment, if you know what I mean. It's like the environment takes
Is influencing
precedent.
your mind. It's taking your
Yeah,
attention
yeah,
away from your own mind.
yeah, exactly. It's what
And
I'm doing
and
in the
and for
environment.
him, the environment is coming into his mind.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Right.
it's like when I was saying clutter doesn't bother me as long as I can move from A to B. It's a very like physical. If I can go from here to here, and it's like how it's affecting me in the environment, not to do with my.
So okay,
And then that
yeah.
stress me out. I don't know. It's weird, but it's very much
I
like
wonder if it's a double observer thing. I'll have to ask other people about this. This is an interesting point because for me, I can just completely disconnect from my environment and go completely in my mind. And I would rather be
oh wow.
organizing my mind than organizing my environment. So that's where I'll be.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow.
But I resonate with that.
Yeah.
Just completely disconnecting. I'm often disconnected from the environment. That's why I'm
Right.
like, well, if it's cluttered or not, like it's. But if I'm trying to get work done and trying to be, diligent with that, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on a bit. What about consume? For you, Austin, how does your SE work when you're consuming?
So oftentimes, I guess, like if I'm watching a YouTube video or something else, I just think it's just being very passive with that and taking in things that have a general interest to me, which is usually around like psychology, some business stuff, some like,
Right. Things that you like? Like, does it have to be things you like?
Yeah, but I honestly, with all the animals, I feel like there's very like broader definitions here, right? I'm
Right.
kind of really narrowing things in, and I'm not tending to the broader piece because I'm not fully clear on the broader piece yet. But yeah, simple examples like that. Just I tend to not want to source information from my external environment. I
You
want to
want it to
source
all come
information
from internal,
from
yeah.
my own head. Yeah, and I want to just move things and leave different impressions in my own head, and then work
Right.
off.
So you're
So,
really projecting outwards with all of your, like, you're in your head, but thinking about how to project outwards all the time. Yeah.
oh,
And
yes, yes. I
okay.
really, really leverage the external world around me in order
Right.
to kind of fuel my internal world. And by me engaging with it, by me putting myself out there so that I could feel things out better. And then it fuels my brain. That's why I'm like missing sleep. I can't use my own head to do that. Oftentimes I need to like put it out there and talk.
Right. Right.
Conversations teach.
Right.
That's
So I saw Otim have a realization that the exact opposite is happening for
Yeah.
him. So
Yeah.
explain that.
It's kind of like um yeah, my mind went blank for a second.
So yeah, he was talking about how he's projecting outwards with his NI all the time.
Yeah, it's like I'm not you're really kind of how do I say this? It's you're trying to really refine your NI in a way that you can put it out there. Mine is I'm trying to really take stuff in. I'm trying to it's like not I don't know. It's the way you worded it and the way you were talking about the process of things. So you start from your NI being where you go to, and then you go into the environment to open your NI a bit, and then you start like expressing things. And for me, it's like I trust the environment to give me like there's more of the environment than me. So like surely there's just so much to get. So I'm just focused more on taking more in. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
the way you worded it. I was like, that's
You're taking,
completely
yeah, but
different.
you're not going to do that process as much, like putting your NI out. You're going to spend more
Yeah,
time
never
refining it in. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, because I'm like, there's just so much of the. There's just so much. It's kind of like, uh, it's like unlimited supply of information, and I'm just trying to take it all in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
Interesting.
like
Yeah,
there's kind of an infinite source of wisdom within what's already there, and that other
yeah,
things outside of me kind of slow me down. I'm like, no, I just gotta go more in,
yeah,
more in, just
yeah.
and
That's so cool.
out.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, and it's weird because we're both NI DOMs, but like you seem clearly confident in your NI. Mine. I come from a more like
Oh, yeah.
just
You're
not
trying to
feeling.
build it. You're trying to build it
Yeah,
and
I don't
construct
feel
it
like it's.
because
I
it's
don't.
not
Yeah,
ready.
yeah. It never feels good. It never feels ready. It just doesn't feel useful. So I'm always like, there's more out there. But you start from this is good. Let me
Right.
make the most out of this. So it's
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
So
Then
I'm
if I have
wondering,
to, I'll
yeah, go for
consume other things. If I have to,
Yeah,
I'll go out.
yeah,
That's like
yeah.
it's tedious, but I do it.
it. Yeah. Awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, you just had the opposite realization. I noticed again, Manny, that like if I have to, I'll project it out, but it's tedious. Yeah.
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 This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm wondering if your FE-FI relationship will also be the inverse in the same way, sort of thing. So
Mm.
how do we get to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you'll be less in touch because Manny's going to be using it in his blast. But let's say let's talk about your FE first. So when you're projecting things outwards to the tribe,
Yeah.
Manny, to
Yeah.
other people and dealing with other people, is your NI still feel like it needs to take things in, or does it feel like it can start putting things out?
I don't. Well, as soon as FE happens, I don't know about like. I think it's just because it's like play or whatever. Like I just don't. There's no self-processing things. It's just like I see what I see.
What about predicting things that are going to happen in your life with people around you, maybe with your
Yeah,
girlfriend or your parents?
it's just like an instant. Just oh, like this person's feeling this way. Sometimes I'll feel like I'll walk somewhere. This is quite rare. It's not like this doesn't happen like all the time, but sometimes I'll just see the way someone is, and I'll think maybe this happened in their life, and then like I'll talk to them, and then they'll say, "Oh, this just happened." I'm like, "Wow." It's just it'll just be intimations of just
Right.
how they feel, and I don't know.
So does it feel that way that you're projecting your NI outwards?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that is. Yeah, basically, yeah. It is
Right.
my NI projecting. Yeah.
Okay. And so, Austin, when you're dealing with your FI, do you feel like you're taking stuff in when you're dealing with what you like, your values, your feelings?
Yeah,
Does it
I
feel
would
like it's building your NI in some way?
Are you talking about like a sleep process where I'm going over my values or different things that I like? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah. But like, do you feel like it contributes to the construction of your NI when you're taking things in through your values? When you're, it doesn't
uh
have to. Just tell the truth. It doesn't have to, man. I
well
just
no,
wanted to know if it's, yeah,
I'm trying to clearly interpret what you're saying,
yeah,
and I think that it helps me because it gives fuel. It's like, I have a gas tank, right?
right.
And I find that I have a lot more energy extrovertly because I process things extrovertly, but I need to have my FI tank filled up. Being in alignment with myself, with who I am, my truths, my values, all those things, expressing it outwards. But that FI is always like in the background, the shadow, I think, kind of like pushing things along and moving things ahead. And that's the fuel to my fire kind of thing. Or
Cool,
it's just, I can't explain it in a really clear way, but that's
cool,
kind of what's
man.
going
Yeah,
on.
this is
Yeah.
some cool triangulation going on. So, do
Yeah.
you guys have something else you want to talk about? Austin, do you want to show us some pictures?
Um, uh, yeah, I guess I can.
Yeah, take a picture and explain it to us. See if we can get it.
I don't have it ready. Shit.
Okay. Yeah, just click the share thing and then we'll talk to Manny for a second. So do you have something you want to maybe ask Austin or talk about that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask questions about FI, but I don't know what to ask. I guess I find it really interesting because I think we spoke about this in our interview,
Yeah.
how we don't really know what we're feeling
Yeah.
really. And I was saying sometimes like I do know what I'm feeling, it's just I can't grab it until like I experience like I'm listening to music and someone in the song expresses
Yeah.
something with words. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Like there's a weird like grabbing aspect of it that I don't have. And I guess with FI you would, well, in this case it's demon, but you would kind of know how you feel.
Yeah, he
So I
might
was
know how
wondering,
he feels the way you know how others feel. Yeah.
yeah, is it like even though it's a demon, are you still like hyper aware of how you feel? Like how does it act as a demon, basically?
Just on like a regular day by day basis, or
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
aware of how you
yeah,
feel? If something happens to you, do you know how you feel about it?
well, honestly, it's such a demon for me that I feel like I have to pay initial attention to it
Right.
beforehand to make sure that it's attended
wow,
to before I go into things.
yeah,
Because
wow,
otherwise, like, for the past 4 years or so, right, I've been doing business and stuff, online marketing, and I feel like I've been chasing all this T stuff in front of me and not
yeah,
attending to my FI at all. So I feel
Right.
hollow and empty inside. And
Oh
that's kind of
man.
that process where it's like, oh, damn, like, shit, I forgot to attend to this thing. That's
yeah,
really important. It's like my
Tribe
values,
above self.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
totally forgetting about it.
But
Yeah.
like, okay, but
Ah,
like, say something happens to you that makes you angry. Can you right away tell that you're angry, or something that makes you sad? Can you right away tell that you're sad?
Uh, well, what's interesting is that oftentimes I'll kind of be kind of detached from it. But if I'm in an interaction with someone else, I tend to be really good with conflict resolution because I'm really reflecting and feeling off of like where they're at, and I have a calm, like
Yeah,
steady front where I'm standing on my values. Shannon talks about that a lot, right? And I'm like standing on like being assertive, being attentive, win-win situation, right? So I'm just like, hey, let me try to understand you. Let me try to reflect that, and let's be in the middle somehow. All right, let's
Right.
try.
yeah,
And so I'll sometimes get mad at my own self for not doing certain things, but when it involves other people, I tend to be really, really good at working through things and just in a really calm way because I'm working off of T and like my own values.
yeah.
You
So
feel the
in a
same?
way, it's like in a way, it's like you behave in a way that allows you not to get any more angry than you need to, like because it resolves before
Yeah.
emotions flare up.
Well,
And it,
I feel like a lot of it's just a lack of clarity, a lack of
yeah,
understanding. And it's like, oh, it's just a T game, right? It's not an emotional game. I'm going to stay
yeah.
relatively calm because it gets in the way, right? I don't need to play that game. So
Wow, that's cool.
let's work out the logic puzzle. Let's find it in different creative and unique ways to figure out how we can meet in the middle, and then we work through there, right? But it's all on the basis. It ends up coming to foundational values that I'm standing on. Okay, if we there's a lot of tension, I'm like, well, here's
Mm.
my values, here's my, and then I get really like stern with that, right? I'm like not moving
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it interconnects.
Yeah.
Masculine values. Yeah.
Yeah, it interconnects with the T oftentimes, right? I find an interconnection between the two. So it's
Right.
all interconnected in my mind. I end up not, with argumentation, I tend to be really good. So that's why.
Oh, okay.
Masculine values. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and so if what if something challenges your values? What if someone from the tribe is challenging your values? Then Austin.
Uh, well, they have to have really good reasons. They have to have really, really, really good reasons.
And if they
And if
do,
they do,
and your
then,
values are still going against it, what would you do?
well, then I would change a little bit.
Uh,
And that's one of the
A
things
little bit.
yeah, that's one of the things I have changed, right? Where can look at the human needs. Talk about the needs of like kind of human connection, and we talk about like human significance, individualistic versus for the collective. And I'm like, okay, there's a thing with significance and individual power versus unifying love, like with like everyone kind of thing. And so I've looked at that. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot to be said about unified power as personal significance, and not just like collective love, like everyone's. So it's like I've kind of shifted a little bit where I'm trying to like weigh and move a little bit on that. Where I thought everything was just love, everything was just love. So it's interesting. It's hard to explain in a really concrete way, but that's kind of what's going on.
does that make
Wow.
sense, Manny?
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah,
So,
it's a
I
value,
was,
right?
yeah, yeah. It's cool. Like the way you are leveraging the situation, obviously because our functions are different. Like it's very different how I leverage the situation. Like for me, like let's say there's a dispute. It's kind of like I am aware of how I prefer the situation to be, or like how I see the situation. But if I see someone upset or see someone show any kind of reaction, like, oh, I don't like this, or it's implied that they're not really happy, I'll just be like, oh, like they're pretty upset. Um, it's
Mm.
a do I really care? I won't feel like I care enough in that moment, so I'll just try compromise with however I think would make the situation fine. It's just like that, I guess. Yeah.
Based on what they're showing, their emotional affect, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
how they feel, how they like certain things.
Yeah, and I'll just be like more, it's almost like I'm just more aware of the situation. I'm like, oh, this is another aspect of this situation. It's not only what I think. And then I'll just like respond
So,
after that.
so you're trying to meet in the middle as far as having a shared and collective kind of value, right, or emotional feeling or affect or something, right? Like
Yeah,
compromising
yeah.
on that. Where I'm like, okay, where's the win-win? Where's the compromise with like the truth that we can be in the middle on? And so I'm
Right.
constantly looking for that, and you're looking for the more likability, emotion stuff, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I'll be doing the T game, but it's like in my explanation of what I'm trying to get them to think, I'm trying to win them over on the value aspect.
Oh yeah, try
So
to
like,
in some emotional way, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like, let's say I'm trying to make a point, I could make that point seem really valid, for example, and then they're more likely to listen to my point. You just like
Smart.
emotional or value-based strategies, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I
It
feel like
sounds,
ultimately with people, if you move them on their emotions, on their feelings, then they're a lot more influenceable or influencing than
yeah.
if you're trying to say move them on their truths, right? And it's not doesn't have the same impact.
And I'm actually quite considering that. I'm actually quite impressed that you're able to just negotiate with someone purely based on having really, really good reasons. Like you don't even need to influence them. Like I'd say mine's more the cheat method. You're just straight, like just going for the best reasons. That's really cool. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're both really good in different situations, right? For like
Yeah,
conflict resolution, right? Like business partnership and stuff. I was always that guy who's like balancing both sides and trying to be in the middle between us two. And I'm just really,
yeah, yeah,
right? But in your situation, I mean, there's other situations where I would love to be able to use that. It's really, really,
yeah,
yeah. The emotions are just such a big deal.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think the only thing I would say is for the emotion game, like you can like read books on that. Like that's more anyone can learn to do that regardless of time. But the TE reasons thing, that's just like you can't learn that. That's just
That's,
inbuilt.
hmm.
So I'd say yeah, you have the upper hand there, which is cool. Definitely leverage that, I'd say.
You have TI reasons though, Manny, that you can use.
Yeah, but thing is like with the TI reasons, they're almost they can be so uncompromising that I
I
have
guess
to
it's
put them
also
to the side.
yeah. I guess it's also like it's not reasons. It's more like truth.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it's almost to the point that they're not relatable. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
because you
can't
can't move them on
bring.
their truth. Like I'm gonna try to move you on truth. Whereas like I don't care about truth. I care about reasons. I care about
Yeah,
my feelings. Yeah, so that's cool that you have
exactly.
feelings and reasons, and then Manny's just got truth here or feelings, so he's
Yeah,
got to go with the feelings.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I think it just really depends on because it's strengths and weaknesses kind of thing, right? Where I'm talking about certain scenarios where my thing would work really well. You're talking about different scenarios where your
Right.
thing will work really well. And it's just like it's the ebb and flow, it's stress and flow kind of stuff. So
yeah,
yeah, but I think it does, certain situations we're just naturally going to be better at,
yeah,
certain things over others. It's
yeah.
really
That's true.
yeah, a
You
lot.
just leverage that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Let's end on that point. That's an awesome point. We're running out of time. So yeah, thank you very much for coming, both of you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, this is dope. This is
Yeah,
dope.
it was really cool. Yeah, it was really cool seeing you guys interact and seeing how you guys are sort of the same and sort of opposite. And yeah, it's good
Yeah, and
triangulation.
the conversation flowed like there was no. I think yeah, everything flowed really well. There's no
Cool.
confusion or anything. It's
Awesome.
dope.
All right. See you later. Have a good one.